Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
And here's how confronting some negative self-talk and limiting beliefs and some fear in the unknown. So with the business, it's like, all right, there's some things that are very, very not in my favor. And here's what I can do. Well, I can take some ethics issues that I've found from the deal, and I can forward that to a committee and get that run up the flag so that if someone has breached the code of ethics, and then they can be reported and there'll be some fallout from that. If I've been wrong, then it needs to get reported to the right authority. So talk to like, okay, I think this is my assumption. Here's what I think has happened. If I'm correct, how do I proceed with it? If I'm wrong, how do I make sure I don't pursue something that's under a false pretense? And they gave me some acceptance and said, well, we definitely have to put that under the confirmation of those suppositions. So, all right, well, here's what we'll do. Here's how I'll proceed. So that gave me confidence to write some of the errors of things that have gone on. Additionally, looking at the studio, there's three ways this can go. I have a personal guarantee on. Let's look at it. On a three dramatic, most likely. There's some in-between gray area, but there's three likely. The doom and gloom scenario is I'm on the hook personally for the lease and for the SBA loan. I could go bankrupt. That's one option. We'd still keep the house. We'd still have our cars. We would still have our 401ks and IRAs, but that would just totally trash my credit score. Okay, let's put that on paper. Second option is this thing becomes wildly profitable. We swing it around, and we're in a phenomenal spot. Okay, that sounds so bad. And then third option is somewhere in the middle. The business bounces around. It's a vanilla business. We pay off the loans. We don't make a lot. We don't lose a lot, but yeah, we survive. We fill it down. That creates incredible content for this whole business endeavor of coaching other business acquisition people and helping folks get into the M&A space on a small scale. All right, well, that's good. In all three situations, there is the self-employed coaching side of things that can pan out. Helpful to know. Totally ruining my credit. That's one outlet on this. Okay, well, that would suck. But at the end of the day, none of these are terrible. No one's going homeless. No one is missing out on meals. I can still find work, either as a freelancer or a self-employed person or as an employee. All that happens is we have a limbo phase of our life for a handful of years. That's the worst case scenario. We have to reset for a handful of years. I can live with that. I don't want that, but I can live with that. And putting it down on paper, writing out the reality of what could end up happening, that helps. Because when you're fighting an invisible enemy, you don't know what you're afraid of. You need to see and put on paper and put a face to what you're afraid of. So that was helpful. That was very, very helpful. With all that today, I met with a company that helps folks take their knowledge, their expertise, and productize and monetize their knowledge. So, okay, I know what it's like to evaluate a small business gym. I know what it takes to find a deal, to vet a deal, to go through due diligence of a deal, how to find professionals along the way, how to get lender financing, what docs you're going to need, start to finish, and the whole process. And that's knowledge that people will pay for. Doing well, you? Wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I've accumulated knowledge that is worth something. I don't know how much, but it's worth something. And I don't know how to create a course. I don't know how to create a YouTube channel or a podcast. I don't know how to do marketing for a brand that I've never launched before. So I'm running an all done for you service and someone that can help me monetize and, if nothing else, get my money back. Or something like this. And okay, I found someone that can do it. They're not cheap, which I'm learning I want to give the right objections because those are the objections I'm going to handle. So if I want someone that's like, hey, we can do this for you, it's $500. If $500 is a lot, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money. But if I'm going to say, oh, I can't launch a business for $500, that's too much money, I will never sell a product to someone for $500 and be able to overcome that objection. If I'm stuck on that objection and I think it's a good objection and I use it on people, that's the same objection that's going to stump me as a salesperson when I'm delivering value to people that need it. So my knee-jerk reaction cannot be, oh, it's too much money. My reaction should be, that's a good amount of money. What's the ROI? What's the timeline? And I told him up front, like, I don't know if this is the right time in my life to do this. I have no qualms with your price. I even know your price. But as long as there's a 3x return on my money, I don't care what your price is. I don't care about the cost of my time. What does it cost on my time to create this thing? What does the time look like for me to run the sales conversations for this thing? What's my time of fulfillment? What are these costs that I'm signing myself up? Is this a 100-hour-a-week job? Because 100 hours a week making whatever money is not worth it. You burn yourself out. You turn gray. You cut your life short by a couple of years working 100 hours a week. Return on time is valuable. And that needs to be something that for folks that if I can add 2 years to my life by saving a lot of money, and I can add 2 years to my life by not adding in stress, that needs to be how I measure something like this. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, there's about 5 hours of getting it over to the experts. They create the product. Okay, so 5 hours of cost. Then each week, about 3 to 5 hours of sales calls that I would be feeling. All right. Then about 6 hours of weekly fulfillment. So to ramp up, it's 5 hours. To get sales, it's about 3 hours. And fulfill, it's about 5 hours. So on a month basis, we're looking at 7 hours a week to get clients and fulfill clients. Not bad. Even if I'm making, we'll just say $3,000 a week, $150,000 a week, $150,000 a year, 7 hours of work a week. That's not a bad gig. Whether I'm an employee or I mow lawn, if I can make $150 a year, working 7 hours a week, that is a really good setup. So the other is the cost of my time. So as of today, I'm still a W-2 employee. I'm still working for big companies, helping them make a lot of money, which is fine. But I need to be figuring out how I'm filling this out. And so along with all this, yeah, the gym is not making money. The gym's costing money. And that sucks. And that's the reality of today. So I need to put them down with what are the likely outcomes, what are the possible outcomes, what's the likely outcome, and then where do we go from there? I have a mentor. I haven't talked to him in forever, but I have a mentor who actually declared personal bankruptcy. He was in real estate, is in real estate, and had to declare personal bankruptcy because the business fell apart and he had personal guarantees on things. 3 years later, he's a millionaire because he knows the systems, he knows what value he delivers, he knows how to generate revenue. The key is to keep your expenses low enough so that you can keep the revenue. And so that's what I'm trying to replicate. And scarily enough, I have an opportunity to go bankrupt from all of this. And so I don't want to go bankrupt by any means, but to see, okay, bankruptcy, things falling apart is not the end of the world. In America, you're given a clean slate after a couple of years of bankruptcy. Okay, that's good to know. I still would love to work to turn this franchise brand around that I'm in. That would be an amazing dream. But I also need to figure out what my income looks like, whether it's an employee or a self-employed person or as a consultant to other entrepreneurs. That's going to be confident. I'm still scared out of my mind, but I don't have doubt that there's an opportunity. I can always sell things that are delivered a tremendous value to me. And I can always talk to people that are trying to do what I have done. I'm a 33-year-old young gun, but I feel like I've lived a lot of lives that people wish they did. So if I can pull people into their future, if they pay me a couple $1,000s for them to skip years of downtime and uncertainty, that's a worthwhile trade-off any day of the week. So that's where we're at. That's where we're going. Tomorrow, we're going to crush the day job. We're going to make sure the gym is dope and loaded. People are loving the challenge. And I'm going to take action when I can today. Just picked up for pizza. Just got home. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. Let's create a future and rock and roll.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY due diligence program the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.